Hey everyone, here I am live. It's Wednesday, it's August. Hard to believe, July went by really quickly for me, and I've been thinking about this July and last July. Last July was pretty amazing for me also. I had an old post from my old Facebook account where I just talked about how I had people reaching out to me for various things, for vitamin C, for information on different topics, reconnecting with old friends and just finding out that we were in alignment. And even though last year was so very difficult, it was a beautiful affirmation that I was on the right path, and I was overwhelmed with gratitude at the end of that month to the point of almost weeping, because I just felt that I was made for what was going on, that everything in my life was culminating in it in a beautiful, powerful, positive way. And I just felt that I was made for this time. I messaged or called one of my friends and I just told her, I just can't believe all this stuff that's happening. And then this past July, I launched a business, and we overcame not having water for a few weeks. Well, we had water, but you guys know the whole story. And my kids flew to New York on an airplane by themselves for the first time. And I went on a vacation and felt quite uncomfortable about leaving, or not leaving, but taking a break from said new business. And I worked through that discomfort, and now I'm back and I'm feeling just energized and happy and just so grateful for life and everything that it offers. So check this t-shirt out. Rise Up with Susan May. So my 8 wonderful founding members all received one of these awesome t-shirts, including one of my friends' sons, because she and her husband joined, and he signed up the quote Rise Up resolution and posted his picture, and they are just so amazing and supportive. So I sent one to him, and Carter and I each got one too. And on the back it says founding member, unplugging peacefully and creating community now. So it's amazing how just little things like this can make you so happy. I know wearing this shirt, and I can't believe how happy my hand-drawn, self-made logo makes me feel. I was at a point when I first had this idea where I was considering trying to get a logo made. And, you know, you're pouring money into this idea in the beginning, and it just felt like not the right time to do that. So I said, you know what, I love drawing. I'm just gonna do it myself. What I envision for eventually being a more polished version, I'll do it myself, and I actually love it. And you know what, someday when our Rise Up community is bigger and thriving, and I have a beautifully professionally made logo, this is gonna be like a vintage t-shirt worth so much money, I'm sure. So anyways, I want to talk about just this shift that I've been feeling, and that I want to help other people to have, that feel ready for a shift, a change. And I said in my little teaser today, why am I so happy? And I'm just gonna flow with it, because I'm not always happy, believe me. The week before I went on vacation, I was definitely feeling more anxious. And you know, all the woo-woo people that I love and just offer so much encouragement, they talk about the energies, like the energy of the earth and energies from the planets, and just how all of these impact us, all of these things. And I know a lot of people maybe think that that's just nonsense, and it's really, I follow a person, his name's Elliot Fried, and he talks about how funny humans are to think that the planets and the moon, of course their energies impact us. They're huge bodies, and energy is everywhere and impacting everything. Jerry, my middle son, was just talking about this yesterday. he showed me on one of his videos a couple different things, and one was a black hole, and the black hole was about the size of Paris. So you imagine the black hole was about the size of Paris, and it was, the way he worded it, it was tossing around. Hi Laura, it's good to see you. This black hole was tossing around a star. That's how he worded it. And the star was bigger than our sun. So I don't know if you know, but our sun can fit, Jerry also told me this, and I'm gonna get the number wrong, but our sun can fit something like 1 million Earths, okay? So our sun can fit 1 million Earths, and this black hole is just the size of Paris, one small city. So if we're like thinking on this to scale, right? This black hole is, you know, something so minuscule compared to this star that we can't even imagine how big it is, because it's bigger than our sun, which is 1 million times bigger than our Earth. So there's this tiny little pinhole of a black hole impacting this star. So energy is incredible. And I'm going to come back to this idea of energy and things that we cannot see. And that, you know, this is the basis of a lot of our religions and faith and believing in things that you cannot see. So anyways, why am I so happy and right now? And why am I reveling in it? So the week before we left, I was feeling anxious, and maybe there was something to do with these energies, and all of us just, our energies we put out into the world, and things ramp up, you know, news ramps up, and I was paying more attention probably than I should have. And then I went on vacation, and it was better, but I still felt a little anxious because I wasn't staying in touch with my community as much as I want to, because I'm just getting started off. But by the end of the week, I was able to really relax and enjoy my family, which is what I wanted to do and why I stopped posting mostly for the week. And so what I have found is that nothing really surprises me anymore in the news. And in a way, this is a good thing, because literally they can say things, they can do things, and it kind of rolls off my back. I'm like, okay, nothing surprises me. But not only that, I think the bigger reason that I've been able to make a shift from feeling very anxious and really being obsessive about what's going on in the world is that I have a project I really care about now, and that is creating this community. And for me, this is my garden. You know how I keep talking about that French phrase, il faut cultiver notre jardin, and Voltaire said it. And we really all need to, my opinion, is that we need that garden. We need that focus, because what's going to happen is if you have that purpose, if you have that drive, and you start focusing on that, it shifts your energy. But sometimes we have to do before our energy shifts. So we have to start changing our habits, and changing habits is difficult for us because we get into routines, we get into habits that maybe don't serve us, but they're hard to change. So I want to talk about the power of our hearts, and this goes back to that energy idea. There's a really awesome clip of Dr. Carrie Madej, I think is her name. I sometimes switch letters, so I don't know if it's M-A-D-E-J or M-A-J-E-D, but I will find her. I'm going to post it in the links and in the comments. And she talks about how all of us, this is from the Heart Math Institute, that our heart is so powerful that the energy from our heart goes out from our bodies. And for most people, it can go out. For someone that's really, open, their energy can go out like 6 feet. But someone who is really, really just in a creative and open and flowing and loving mode, it can expand like a mile or more. Can you imagine when you're in this state of just gratitude and peace and acceptance, that your heart could be sending out these vibes or these energy waves that can be impacting? Look at all these neighbors around me. Look at this. There's a house there, a house there. a house there. There's a house over on this side of us. A couple houses over there. If we all just get right in our hearts, can you imagine the impact that can have? Oh, and there's that word impact. Elliot, the one I was talking about earlier, he talked about not wanting to impact the world. So I've been trying to think of a better word to use. Can you imagine the powerful influence, or, you know, that we stop impacting, that we stop trying to change other people and just love and accept, and that will be, it will just build up. So I love that idea. Now, I will confess, I have not looked into the scientific validity of this heart vibes, or whatever you want to call it. And for me, it doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter if it's true or not, because it helps me be a better person. And I know that me being a better person will have that impact. So sometimes we don't need science. And that's my next point. Sometimes, or right now, I think actually most people, we don't need more science. What we need is a philosophical realization of what is true and what is not true, which is another reason that I have been able to unplug so much from the media, because I know to my core what my bedrock truth is, and that is that medical freedom is an absolute human right. There is nothing that can change that ever. That what goes into my body is absolutely my right to decide. So when you get to that philosophical root, that philosophical core or bedrock, you don't really need more science. Some people decide that they don't want certain medications based on intuition, because it doesn't jive with their life philosophy or how they want to live their life. And that's fine. Some people have to read study after study after study before they can make a decision, because we're all different how we reach our decisions. But the main point is that we don't need more science to understand that it's each person's birthright to decide what goes into their body. So sometimes we think that being peaceful or focusing on ourselves is maybe selfish, because aren't you just sticking your head in the sand, or aren't you just putting yourself in a bubble and not caring about others? And the more and more I think about this, the more I realize that that is absolutely not true. Because when you think about this, when a person starts to step into their power and feel good about life, the ripple effect that goes outward from that is immeasurable. So we think it's not enough. We think we need to be informed. But what happens is, by becoming informed, we become kind of almost addicted. Like it becomes a cycle. I need more information. I need to make sure I'm correct, that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm right. And then I have to convince other people that my way is the right way. And it's a cycle that is very difficult to break. So how can we shift that energy? When and how? I don't think it's up for me to tell someone else how to live their life. And that's part of my philosophy too. It's part of freedom, right? It's not up to me to tell others to stop doing what they're doing, to think, well, they're being obsessive and they should stop researching and they should start doing something more productive or something like that. It would be silly for me to say something like that, because last year I was completely obsessive. And I studied and I read and I watched videos for hours and hours and hours. And that's what I needed to do. And this is actually another bedrock philosophy of unschooling and of learning, right? Of how people learn. When we are drawn to something, when our children are drawn to something, it's really counterproductive to try and stop them from doing that thing. And this is also very much in line with Montessori philosophy. Let the children do what they want, right? Well, we're just grown-up children. So if I'm feeling drawn to just learn more and more and more about a certain topic, but I'm constantly berating myself, I shouldn't be doing this, I should be doing something else, it is counterproductive. Sometimes we need to soak up information until we are satiated. And that's how I was last year. But I also do believe that the more of us that can shift away from a fearful feeling inside of us to to stop being driven by fear and to be motivated instead by love and by creativity. If we can shift that energy, we have no idea how much we are going to help this situation that we find ourselves in. So how do we do that? Like I said, it's going to be more of an inside voice. And a lot of us, something inside of us, an intuition, a lot of us have been cut off from our intuition because we get trained out of it. So if you start feeling like, I want change, but I don't know how to change, you should start listening to that voice. And for me, moving to Florida was a big change that really helped shift. Now, did it happen overnight? No. But small things. Mike and I started going for more walks where we ranted and we raved, and we still rant, but we rant a lot less. Making small changes. So the goal then is to start spending more time doing things that you actually want to do, that make you feel good inside, that help you build the life that you want. I'm gonna have to go soon because Carter's looking for me. So anyways, that would be number one. Less science, more philosophy. And also figuring out, who do you trust? Who do you trust? Once I knew who I trusted, it became a lot less of an issue. Here, do you want a graham cracker? Here. So I'm live. Can you give him a graham cracker? I'm live. Can you just...
No, I'm braiding my hair.
Okay, can you give it to Jerry?
Jerry.
This is what it is to raise very self-assured children. She's braiding her hair. And Carter wants a graham cracker and is walking around naked. So there you go. I'm gonna sign off now. I really appreciate all of you. And these are just some thoughts I've been having lately. You know, I am going to feel anxious again. It's not a ride where you like get to this nirvana, like, oh, I feel so good about life. No. I will say I am very pleasantly surprised that we just got back from vacation. And normally after vacations, when I've been with my parents and my sister, I have a big slump. I'm really sad and just have a hard time adjusting. And I'm not having this time, which feels great. And I think a lot of it is that I have a project. You gotta find your project, people. I hope you all are having a great week. It's Wednesday. If you're not having a great week, please comment below. Maybe we can work through some things. What's bothering you? How can you start shifting your energy? And please stay in touch. I appreciate all of you, and I'm sending love your way. Bye.